I just can't help but wonder how the whole sales and marketing world are going to start to come together, and how that's going to sort of be baked into product planning even now. You know, it seems like you have to think about, even in the development, distribution, all of the elements that relate to typical product development and or service development. How are we going to talk about this? How are we going to communicate with people? Because if you don't really have a product. If you don't have an audience, you don't have a product. But I think in the interim, the ability to test on these different channels and these different messaging platforms is something that organizations just have to develop. When they have an acute issue, deal with it immediately, openly and honestly, you know, and authentically in front of an audience, which is something that brands haven't done for all these years because they've been able to sort of stay behind the curtain.
So you touched on two things there that are very important, and that is how sales and marketing are coming together and fusing into one more than ever before. The line between those two is getting very muddy because it has become marketing's responsibility to drive ROI. Everything but close the deal, right? So I think the ability for marketing and for content to empower sales organizations is going to be a growing call and demand on the marketing community. The other thing you touched on was analytics and the extent to which analytics can drive the creation of successful content. Well, it can and it can't, right? Because you can't ask people who have never seen what you're talking about what they want. And I put forth the example of, if back in the old days of TV, you did a survey asking people, hey, we're thinking about doing a wacky sitcom about a field hospital in Korea during the war. Don't you think that would be great? Most people would say, no, don't even do it. And so MASH never would have gotten made. But, you know, we tend to want everything to be a sure thing. And so analytics driven, data driven, that type of thing. And to that extent, you can get a lot of knowledge about who your target audience is, what they are traditionally receptive to, what they're not receptive to. You can definitely do A/B testing with content and try to the extent that you can, be agile and turn around in real time, shifting your strategy according to what you learn from that data. You hear a lot about brand newsrooms that want to be able to see what's going on in the world, and if my audience is interested in this, how can I participate in that conversation, make something, turn it around, get it out there in a timely fashion without going through 12 levels of approval and 6 months time waiting for an answer. You can't do that anymore.